people. This is the 27th school shooting that federal authorities have recorded this year alone, and it is the second deadliest shooting since the one at Sandy Hook Elementary School back in 2012.
Joining us right now to get more reaction on this is South Bay Congressman Robb Khanna. Thank you for joining us here during KRON4 News at 6.
Thank you for having me.
Congressman, we keep putting this on a recycling loop here. We go through this over and over again, and we keep asking the same questions, and I presume you're going to have the same answer, but where are we going with this? How are we going to try to get out of this mess?
Well, like everyone in the Bay Area, I was just sick to my stomach. I mean, to see little kids killed. And first we saw 2, and then the count went up to 14, now 18. I mean, it's just horrific. And we have to wake up as a country. I don't understand how we're allowing someone to go in, second and third graders, and this is preventable. It doesn't happen in any other country in the world. There are 2 things we need to do. The president needs to call right away to abolish the filibuster, and he needs to demand a vote this week on the universal background check so we can make sure that people like this 18-year-old don't get guns, and red flag laws so that if someone has issues, you can go to a court and the court can order that those guns be taken away. Those 2 things would prevent a lot of these mass shootings. We've got to stop, making excuses, and the president should demand a vote in the Senate and keep making people vote on this. But it's gone on too long. I agree with Steve Kerr, who said, there are a lot of people who just want to keep their power in the Senate, and that's why these laws aren't getting passed.
You had recently held a gun control, a town hall with a bunch of high school students from the Bay Area, you and Steve Kerr together. What you're talking about is the statement that Steve Kerr made right before the Warriors game tonight, a very impassionate speech. He didn't want to talk about the game at all. He wanted to talk about what had happened in Texas today. And he said that what needed to happen was a vote on universal background checks, which almost 9 out of 10 Americans agree needs to happen. So what's the holdup there? Why is that something that is not able to be possible?
Steve has been calling for this for years. I mean, obviously, it's personal for him. He lost his father to a shooting. But, we held this town hall 3 years ago after Parkland, and nothing has happened. The reason nothing has happened is 2 things. We don't have people with the courage to say, end the filibuster. So you can pass something on 51 votes. Every Democratic leader today needs to say, end the filibuster. And we need to start demanding a vote so on 51 votes we can get that done and see who is for it and who's not for basic gun violence legislation. But I think, I thought Sandy Hook was going to be a turning point. I'm hoping this is a turning point. I just think it says something deeply disturbing about our country if someone is killing our kids and killing innocent kids, and we're standing there and not doing anything.
The gun lobby and some Republican lawmakers say it's not the guns, it's the people, that the people are doing this. And if they didn't have a gun, they'd use some other instrument of violence to attack people. What's your response to that?
Well, of course, the person who killed and committed this evil act is responsible. But there are evil people and people who do evil things in every country in the world. But other countries don't have these mass shootings. So what is the difference between our country and other countries? Other countries have sensible laws about guns. They don't just allow people who have evil intentions, who have crazy thoughts, to get access to guns and go into schools and blow people up and shoot people. I mean, they have sensible laws. If there were mass shootings happening all over Europe and in Canada, then you could say, okay, nothing can be done. They're evil people. But that's just not the case. So what is the difference? The difference is we don't have some common sense gun safety laws. The House has passed this over and over and over again. It's not passing for 2 reasons: that we don't have people with the courage to eliminate the filibuster, and we don't have a vote of 51 senators on universal background checks or red flag laws.
We're approaching 1 year since the mass shooting at the VTA rail yard in San Jose. Wondering if you're going to be taking part in any of the vigils or memorials or taking part. I know a lot of it's private, or if anything has changed here in the Bay Area in regards to gun laws or mental health issues since we've experienced that violence a year ago.
It was a traumatic day. I was there on the day. I mean, after the incident, I went, and I still remember being in a room, an adjacent room, and hearing as police officers and responders broke to families the news of that they had lost a family member, and seeing and hearing the wails of family members in our community. That place has been devastated. I was there where the shooting took place a couple months ago, and you can tell how much that has just totally hurt our community. When a community faces one of these mass shootings, you never become whole or the same. And of course, I will participate in any vigil that's appropriate if the families won't be there. But it has given me, like other members of Congress who have had one of these mass shootings, more resolve to fight for something. But you feel a bit hopeless in the House, where we keep passing it and then nothing gets done in the Senate. I've been in the Congress almost 6 years, and in my 6 years, there have been many mass shootings. We keep passing things in the House. Nothing passes in the Senate. There has to be a sort of a mass demonstration to get something through that Senate.
We're just about out of time. I know you have to run, but real quick, the NRA convention is in Houston in a week or so. Senator Ted Cruz is supposed to be there. I don't know about Senator Joe Manchin, but there are certainly some more moderate Democratic U.S. senators that may be conflicted about voting on gun control. What would you say about that?
Well, I would say people should do one of two things. They either should boycott that, or if they're going to go there, they should be very clear to the NRA and speak truth to that group and say, look, no one is coming after the right to bear arms in this country. But don't you think that we can keep guns away from people who want to go into schools and kill young kids? Don't you think we should keep guns away from people who are going to be a threat to others? That's all we're talking about. This is common sense. And, I don't understand how every American can't be for it. In fact, most Americans are. It's these special interests that are preventing common sense legislation.
South Bay Congressman Khanna, thank you so much for joining us here during KRON4 News at 6 o'clock tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.